All right, how to cook the perfect ham. This is my second video in cooking. First video was a turkey video, show you how to cook a turkey perfectly. The way I cook a ham, I like to keep as much juice in the ham as possible. I buy a pre-cooked ham. It's a tavern ham. It's a boneless ham. And the ham that I look for is bowl shaped. All right, and I cook it in the upright position like it's sitting like a bowl would, with the flat surface on top. And I cut down into the ham, being careful not to go all the way through and puncture in a hole, because then juice just runs out that hole. I'm trying to maintain the bowl integrity of the ham. So when I put brown sugar and pineapple and what other things do I put in there? Honey down in the ham, that it stays in the ham. It doesn't run out, right? It sits in the ham like it would in a bowl. It can't escape, and so it just sits in there and boils inside the ham and flavors all the meat. I cut the ham into cubes. I don't get the spiral cut ham. You're just asking for all the juice, the natural juice of the ham to run out of every single one of those cuts. And you end up with, I'm not gonna say that it's a bad ham. All hams are good hams usually, unless you cook the heck out of them. But the more cuts you put into something, the more juice is going to run out of those cuts, the drier that it's going to become. Okay, so the goal is to try to do as least amount of cuts, but cube it up so you got big chunks of ham in there that are all simmering in that juice. You'll see in the video. It comes out delicious. It's more of a sweet ham, a candy ham. I mean, we're using honey, brown sugar, pineapple. The flavor is amazing. I know some people that, don't like a sweet ham, don't care for it much, but the majority of people that I've let try it are just blown away by it, and think it's a really good ham. So anyway, watch my process here and see how I do it. And if you like the way that it's done, then try and duplicate it yourself. Anyone can do this. You just gotta, jump in there. All right, here's the process. All right, today I'm gonna show you how I cook a ham. I always go with a boneless ham. I use a tavern ham. These things are pre-cooked, and I'll try to get one that's bowl shaped. If you get a whole ham, just try to cut it so that both sides are bowl shaped. And you'll see why here in a little bit. First thing to do, let's open it up. All right, so there's some juice in this ham, and we want to save that because it'll be good in a glaze later. So put that in a pan for later. Now inspect your ham and look at these fatty areas. Look for areas that might potentially let loose when it's being cooked. You don't want a big hole opening up in the side of your ham and all your flavors running out the side. So just kind of inspect the bottom and see where your problem areas are. And that way when you start cutting into the ham here, you can kind of avoid those areas. Now start cutting you a line, and you want to make several lines that are side by side. Be sure you don't go all the way down. You want to stay inside the ham. Don't puncture a hole down through the bottom of the ham. Just go down as deep as you can without puncturing a hole in the ham. If you make a hole in it, then all the juice and all the flavoring that we're going to put in this thing is just going to run right out the bottom. Now this flat top here is going to be the top of the ham. So all the flavoring is going to sit down in the cracks that we're cutting now, these little slots. So go across like this. We're going to make big, fat, juicy cubes. And that'll give us somewhere to stick all the different flavorings. All right, next thing you want to do is get you a big old sheet of aluminum foil and put it over top of your roasting pan, and then set this down in the middle of it. And we're going to form basically a little aluminum foil bowl. Any excess juice that is going to escape the ham will be caught in this bowl, and the bowl will kind of maintain it on the ham instead of it just spreading out in the bottom of the roaster pan. And you may also have to take some aluminum foil and just kind of wedge on the sides to support the ham, keep it from falling over. Now here I'm spreading it apart with 2 forks back to back. You kind of see my process there. And then I'm taking raw honey. This is honey that I get from my bees that I have. And I'm just pouring the honey down. I'm doing all sides of the cracks. So go one way and then go the other way. Make sure you get the honey down inside of every single crevice, just to make sure you got total coverage on the flavoring. And now we're going to use some brown sugar, and basically going to do the same thing. We're going to spread it apart gently. You don't want to tear the ham open, so just spread it apart. Use a spoon to kind of cram the brown sugar down in there, and I mean really pack it as much as you can. Get a bunch of brown sugar down in there. This is what really makes it taste amazing. Like I said with the honey, get every crack, every crevice. Make sure that this thing is covered from top to bottom with brown sugar. And here you can see we've just about got it completely done. All right, next thing, we need some pineapple slices. Don't go with cubes. Don't go with minced pineapple. Use these big round slices. They're more for presentation than anything, but the pineapple juice also gives it an amazing flavor. And we want to save all the juice out of the can, so pour that in the same bowl that you put the ham juice, and we'll just save that for later. Now go along with your slices here and place them in a kind of presentable fashion. We want to make this look nice whenever it goes out on the holiday table. And we're going to take a second can and drain the juice into the pan. We'll use that later. And we're going to stack some more on top here. A lot of family members like these pineapples later after they're cooked. Now we're going to sprinkle some brown sugar on top of the pineapples, and this gives it a really nice glaze and just enhances the flavor in the pineapple. Boy, it already looks delicious. Now guys, the whole purpose of this, making the ham into a bowl shaped and cutting grooves in it like this, is to hold those flavors in there. When this stuff heats up, all that's going to melt together and want to run out, right? So by cutting it like this and not puncturing any holes, that flavor is allowed to sit in there and just cook into the meat, right? So it comes out so good. Now this is a really sweet ham, and a lot of people like it that way. Some people don't like a super sweet ham, but I'm telling you, this is absolutely delicious. All right, so we're going to pour the rest of that brown sugar in here. And then the remainder of the honey I've got, we're going to pour into the pineapple juice and the ham juice with the brown sugar. And this is going to make up our glaze. Okay, so put your honey in there, and then we're going to give it a good mix, get it all basically to come together, and then we're going to boil it. Now do this as a very slow process. Put it on low and just watch it close, because I'll tell you what, it boils slow and it doesn't look like it's doing much, but all of a sudden it like changes and starts to thicken real fast, and it will overboil and you won't be watching it and you'll have a mess. So keep an eye on it, boil it slow, and you'll have an amazing glaze. Don't overdo it, you'll have glue. Okay, so just get it to where it thickens a little bit and you're good to go. Still want it to be runny. You can see here how it is whenever I put it on the ham, it's still runny. So the ham doesn't look delicious right here because it's just been heating up. The ham's fully cooked, so we're just heating it to the point where it's warm enough to eat. So now once we've got it heated all the way through and all that flavoring has been cooked down into it, we're going to change it over to broiler. And now we've put that glaze on top of the pineapple. Don't use all your glaze, save some for later. All right, we're going to put it back in there with the broiler, and the broiler is going to toast the top of it. And that's where you're going to get a really delicious looking ham. Really good looking stuff here. Now we're going to pour some more glaze on. And a little bit more on this side here. And you can see it's really starting to pop now. Boy, let me tell you, this ham is absolutely delicious. I love cooking this ham. I wish that Thanksgiving and Christmas wasn't the only 2 times a year that I did this. But now it's presentation worthy. Here it is on the table with all the fixings. There's another video I've got for turkeys. Make sure and check that one out if you're interested. But there it is, boys, let me tell you, and girls. Here it is without the pineapples. Man, it is delicious. And we're going to cut it up here and lay it out so everyone can access it. Grab you a chunk and slap it on your plate. Get you a little bit of glaze and just slide it right across the top there. Fork and a knife is all you need. And there you go, a sweet little piece of candy ham. It's delicious. Let me tell you. All right, guys, that's how I cook my ham. And let me tell you, it was amazing. It is every year. And we really enjoy it. So anyway, if you like this sort of thing, I've got more cooking videos planned. I do product reviews, I do history videos, I do small business, honeybees, homesteading, you know, all kinds of stuff. If you like this sort of stuff and you like a channel that prefers to have quality over quantity, then I might be right for you. Hit the subscribe button and do me a favor and hit the like button. All right, thanks so much for watching my video. Till next time.